Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today it's another trying to fix video. Another video where I've bought something faulty off eBay and I'm going to do my best to repair it. So, in here we have some little RC cars. So let me show you the listing. I got these from Danny. I've bought numerous things from Danny before. Basically, when he's got something that he thinks I might be interested in, he gives me a quick message and then I have a look at it, and if I am interested, I buy it. Now, this lot here cost me £15, and as you can see, it says Mario Kart remote control car Joblot. So, there's quite a few of them. And let me just read what it says here. It says, for sale, Mario Kart remote control cars, all of which are faulty for the following reasons. Mario seems to work fine but has cosmetic issues. Donkey Kong seems to work fine but has cosmetic issues and a buckled front wheel, so he just goes around in circles. Both Yoshis are not working as neither turn on, and have both cosmetic and internal issues, may be fixable or usable for spare parts. So I thought this would be quite an interesting one. It was only £15 including postage, and even if I just get one or two of them working, then I think it's going to be well worth it. As well as that, you never know, might be quite interesting for a video. So let's open it all up and then have a good look at them. So that's them all out, and yeah, they look like they're going to be just quite simple ones, basically forward and then backwards and turn. So realistically, you're not going to get a lot of fun out of these. So when it goes backwards, what happens is this little wheel kicks in and makes it go back in a circle like that, and then forward and then back in a circle, forward. So really, they're going to be pretty rubbish as far as the enjoyment goes, but still, they look kind of good, don't they? So let's see if we can get any of these working. So this one here looks in very bad nick, but it doesn't mean that, you know, maybe if there's something faulty with this one or another one, I can use the spares from this to get it working. So it looks like I'm not going to be able to get all four working because we've got the pads missing here, unless you just want to use it with your fingers, which you would be able to do. Obviously, spares are not going to be available for something like this. You would have to use donor ones in order to get them working. But the cost of these, that's not going to be an option. Right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some batteries. It looks like they take 9 volts in here, so I'm definitely not going to have 4 9-volt batteries, but I only really need one just to test. And in here, let's unscrew this and see what they take in here. Now, I actually got these all the way back in 2018, and they've just been sat there waiting to be looked at. I've got so many things. I've got a huge backlog at the moment for these videos. Okay. Right, let me get a 9-volt battery and 2 AA batteries, and let's see what's happening. Right, let's start with Donkey Kong, see what he's doing. On. Oh, it lights up, look at that. And then backwards. Right, so those wheels are very buckled because you can see them wobbling everywhere, and also this front one's buckled, so that's not actually going to work because it's just going to be... Oh, I see what's happening here. It's working on the front wheel, so it doesn't actually matter that these wheels are buckled because it's all on here anyway, but still we'll sort that out. And as well as that, you can see that these are, they're buckled as well, aren't they? They're not on their proper centre. And also that front wheel is affecting it. Right, okay. But apart from that, so when it goes forward, the lights come on. When it goes backwards, the lights come on as well. So obviously this must somehow be connected to the motor. So this just needs to be glued in the upright position. I'm not sure if this area is supposed to be just wrapped around that, or is it supposed to go somewhere else? I don't know. Hands move. Well, okay, that one is definitely going to be fixable. So let's turn that off for the time being. Pop the batteries out. Let's try Mario. Apparently Mario is supposed to work okay. Also, I just want to check the frequencies. If they're all... Oh good, look, they're different. So that's 27 megahertz. This is 40. So these two will be able to be played together. This is 49 and 40. So this one and Donkey Kong will not be able to be played together because they're the same. But this one is. So maybe, because they can't all be 3 played together anyway, so maybe I will be able to use the insides of this one to put into here, because this is no good unless you're going to play it on its own anyway. So yeah, that might be quite good. Right, let's have a look at Mario. Battery contacts all look good anyway. Right, so let's turn that on there, on and on. This sounds a lot quieter than the other one. I wonder if it's as fast or not. Right, so this is not reversing on a circle, so I've got to find out why. Maybe it needs a longer amount in order to do it. Yeah, okay. Also, those lights don't seem to light up too bright either. Yeah, this looks like it's quite gunked up, quite dirty and stuff, so I think this one could benefit from a clean, and then it might loosen up a little bit. It seems a little bit... I'm not sure if it's just a little bit slower. It doesn't seem as powerful as Donkey Kong, but maybe it's just quieter. Right, okay, not 100% sure about that. That definitely needs glue in there. It might need some more work. Don't really know. It doesn't seem to want to go backwards and turn straight away. So, yeah, maybe this one needs a bit of work, or maybe that's just how they're designed. I'm not too sure. I don't think that's going to need a huge amount doing to it. Right, let's try these two. I'm going to say Yoshi. I don't know if it's Yoshi. Yoshi, I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. This one's missing a steering wheel, and it looks like there's corrosion here. Now this is a 40 megahertz one. Right, okay, so you can see the problem there. It's completely rusted up on the terminal. So I put the batteries in there, but these are not going to be making a contact, so this will be why this one is dead. Let's turn it on, turn this one on. Yeah, so there's nothing happening there. Okay, so that might be fixable. And let's try the last one here. I'm struggling to open this one. Oh, there we go. Right, okay, so this is the on and off switch here. And the terminal's broken here again due to corrosion. Here it is, there's the remains of it. So again, not too bothered about that, because really, are you going to want to play this like this? It's not ideal. I might have a look at it, not too sure, I haven't decided yet. But either way, I've got quite a bit to get on with there. That's missing off one of them. Yeah, that's missing off the back here. So, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so this one here I can't actually. Oh, sorry, this one's got. Oh, look, there's a couple of batteries in here. Well, okay, this is what Danny must have used to test them out. So with this one here, I can't do anything because the controller right now is not functional. But this one does actually look to be in this condition. Is okay on this one here. Right, I think we'll start with Donkey Kong, and then we'll just go along and do everything after that. Well, I think first things first, it's best to take this apart completely so we get used to what's inside them. Okay, so that's completely come off now. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of fixing for the wire there, aren't I? Because there's a little light in there. Okay, there's a little screw at the top of the seat. They do look like they're quite well made. So I'm thinking these are probably proper licensed ones. Right, so there's Donkey Kong himself. Ah, here we go. Right, so here is the little circuit. So this is the receiver, isn't it? Right, so we would be able to swap this, you know, with the Yoshi one. we would be able to swap that around. Right, okay, that's that. So now I have to take this apart further. Right, so there you go, that's a little motor there. It's actually quite nice. At least it's got a nice metal gear on it there. Right, so I'm going to have to pop this out to try to straighten up these wheels. I wonder, do these undo? Are they glued on? I feel like they're on very strong. No, they're probably glued on. You know what, I might be able to just bend that back into shape rather than worrying about actually taking the axle out. So what I'm going to do is, I'm spinning it now, and I'm just sort of going to put my thumb here on this wheel here, and I'm spinning it. And as you can see, look, it's a little bit buckled, but not too bad. You can see it's touching my thumb now, and now it's not. Touching my thumb, now it's not. I'll just zoom in. So now I know that when it's like that, it needs to be bent back a little bit, back this way. Or when it's like this, it needs to be bent forward a little bit. So let's start with doing this one here. That's not far off now. Right, I'm happy with that side now. As you can see, look, if I put a tiny little gap by my thumb, there's not much in that at all. Now this one here is still well out, because if you have a look, you can see it's touching here, and now look at the distance there. Touching there. So let's bend it now, hold on. So we're touching there, biggest gap there. So let's now bend it this way. You know what, that might be enough. I don't think that's going to be too bad. Right, let's concentrate on the front one now. In fact, we can put this one back on here. So that's all good there. Why don't I just put a tiny little bit of grease in there, just to maybe quieten it down a little bit. Okay, so this is going to be good for plastic. Put much there, only a little bit, but just let it work its way round. It might help a tiny bit. Now let's concentrate on this buckled wheel at the front. So this one, this side doesn't look too bad. Obviously it's all this side here. Let's start by bending it and see if it will go. Right, okay, getting there now. So now I can worry about getting them more aligned. Have a look at the Mario one just to see how good they are from the factory. Oh yeah, that is pretty good. Distracted from the wheels. I just want to see how I can get to the wires for this tailpipe, you know, the light that's not working. This thing here. Yeah, there's a little screw, you see. Okay, so I can't put this back together yet. Right, okay. So 2 wires up to each light. So have I got enough slack on here? Yes, and they are wired up to the motor. Right, okay, I think I know what's going on here. So we've got 2 fat wires here, which are the ones giving power to the motor. The black one goes to the terminal at the very back, and then the red one goes to the terminal at the front. But it does go via, it's got like a capacitor in between them both. I remember seeing that on the Hornby train I did ages ago, and I think that's to allow a smooth start off. So it's Yes, so it doesn't, what is it? So it doesn't just suddenly move off in a jerk kind of thing. It allows a smoother start, I believe. And then what happens is you've got a resistor here, which goes to the two small black wires which go up to the lights, and the two small red wires go off to the lights on the back terminal. And I presume the resistor's there so that the lights don't blow, because maybe the motor is taking more power than the lights, so to kind of like step it down a bit. Right, okay, so that kind of makes sense. So now with this one here, I should be able to put enough through here. So I think what I'm going to do is, let me get this into position. So that's going to be there. So I should be able to pull that through back into the back into here. The problem I've got is opening this up, because if I open this up, it's going to snap. Or what I could do is, do you know what, it'd probably be better, rather than risking breaking that open, I have got a little bit of wire here sticking out, so if I can just strip that back and get a little bit of solder on it, then if I can get a little bit of solder on that, then you see I won't have to worry about opening this up, because I only need a tiny dot of solder, the wires are tiny, just to join them together, and then I can just plastic weld this back on. I think that would be a better bet. Right, so I'm going to get my soldering iron and I can sort that out. Now, in the meantime, let me try to neaten up this a little bit, try to get this spinning a bit better. You know what, I think I'm going to leave them at that because they're pretty good and they're spinning quite nicely. Remember, there's a lot of play in them, but they are now spinning very freely, so that's not going to restrict the play. I think that's going to be fine. Right, let's get the soldering iron out. Okay, getting there. So now what I'm going to do is put some plastic weld to make sure that this doesn't come loose, because before there was a bit of red plastic going on the inside to clip into, but now it's just hanging loose, it's just holding in there via the wires. So I'm just going to put a bit of plastic weld around the edge. Right, okay, that is Donkey Kong all done and all finished and cleaned up. We'll do the proper test at the end, but let's just make sure that the lights and stuff are working. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he seems to be powerful enough. Right, I think we'll move on to Mario next. Now with Mario, I'm just going to fast forward through the whole thing, because really all I'm going to do is clean him, because it appears to be working as well as they work. I've got a feeling that these are not really going to work very well. I don't think that they were, even when they were brand new, very good quality toys. So yeah, I'll be just fast forwarding through this one, and then I'll go into a bit more detail on these two, because I think they might be slightly more interesting. Oh, and that's interesting. This one has been greased. Look, there's loads of grease in this one. which is weird because on the Donkey Kong one there was no grease at all. Right, okay. Well, in which case then I'm going to leave it because it's all been greased up already. I don't know whether it came from the factory like that or whether somebody's actually greased it. Not too sure. Right, just to show you the circuit board in a bit more detail. That's that side there. And this is this side here. Right, okay, here he is, nice and clean again. So let's just make sure it's working. So turn this on, turn this on. Okay, so there are the lights. Yeah, not sure if it's as fast as Donkey Kong. And also, when it reverses, it's really hit and miss on when it goes into, you know, when it starts turning. But over distance, it will turn. Basically, they're just very cheap, very, very, very crude toys. I think they're made more to be like a model up on the shelf rather than a usable toy, because as a model they actually do look quite nice. They do look well made like that. It's just the performance of them are absolutely awful. Right, okay, let's get on to the last two now. Now, looking at these, because there's so many missing bits, for example, this one hasn't got a steering wheel, this one hasn't got the lights here. I don't see the point of getting them both working because that really isn't an option. I'm sure I probably could get it to work, but without the proper things on there, it's not really going to be much fun, is it? So what I think I'm going to do is make one good one out of two of them. I think that will probably be the best thing to do. Right, okay, let's get, and as well as that, is it really worth me spending hours cleaning this up here when, for example, it's missing the steering wheel and missing the other things that make it look any bit good, like the lights on the back and stuff? So I think really, in this instance here, because these are going to still be pretty much worthless, I think it would be best to make one out of two. This is the 40 megahertz one, and this is the 40 megahertz one with the rust. So let's take out all the insides and put it in this one here. I'm just going to literally just swap the boards over. So I'm going to unsolder everything that's connected to this one. And I'm going to then unsolder this one and swap, you know, put this one into here. That is the board swapped over. Let's pop some batteries in and see if it's going to work. Yeah, there we go. And both lights are working. Right, so this wheel looks a bit bent as well. So I'm going to be doing the same thing again. Putting my finger there, seeing where it's high and low, and then basically cleaning it all up. Sorting out this back bit here. Putting a new, well not new, but putting this one back onto the back here. And hopefully this will then be working. It seems quite powerful, this one. Swap the bottom plates over as well so it reads 40 megahertz rather than 49. Swap the bottom of the seats over because of the top of this post here, but if you have a look, they're actually different. So although they're the same model, they must have been made in different years or in different factories, because this bit here has this bit sticking out and this bit doesn't, so this is actually too tight to fit onto this base. And that is Yoshi all done. So let's turn him on. Turn it on here, and there we go. Both lights working. Right, okay. This one actually needed quite a bit of work doing to it because there was numerous things that were broken on it. So this one here was really rusty, but yet the battery compartment was okay once it got cleaned up. Yet this battery compartment, you can see, is missing all the tabs on it. So really, it was just as well there was two of these, because there's no way you'd be able to get them together with just one. But now, because there was two of them, this is absolutely complete. Right, let's bring them down to the kitchen. Let's see if I can find a few more batteries and see if we can get all three working at the same time. Right, okay, here they are, and as far as the look of them, they have come out really well. So you can see how clean they look. So I'm happy with how they've come out, but the actual way they operate is obviously not very good, and you're going to get bored of it very quickly. Now, I've only got two 9-volt batteries, but it's just as well, because you know, I didn't really use my brain. When I was making up this Yoshi one here, remember I chose the 40 megahertz one because the cart itself was in... Was it the cart that was in better condition? I can't remember, whatever the reason, but I went over to that one there. Oh, I know why, it's because this one here was all broken up. But the problem is that frequency is exactly the same as this one here. So for example, now if you want to play them, they have to be different frequencies. So you can play these two together, or Mario and Donkey Kong together, but you can't play Yoshi and Donkey Kong together. So a little bit of a mistake there on my behalf. Now, I was looking at this one here. Well, I mean, a mistake, but this one is made 40 megahertz. So it seems strange that the same company would make them with the same frequency, because I'm sure, as far as a collection is concerned, some people might have wanted to get quite a few of these, and then they're going to be limited to what they can play together. So a little bit confusing why they chose the same frequency. But I've been looking at this one here, And obviously I would need to do more soldering and stuff to get this to work on the 49.9 or whatever on this one. I think it was 49.9. But I'm thinking that as far as this circuit is concerned, all you would have to do is unsolder this crystal here. It looks very rusty, it might not even work. But if you have a look, can you see there 49.8, whatever it says? So you'd have to unsolder that and then that would probably work. But I've been looking at this, and this is the board that goes with this one here, the 49 megahertz one. And it even says here 49M. But I'm thinking, what is it on here that causes that frequency? Now the only thing I can think of is this component here with the wire wrapped around it. But if you know the answer to that, pop it down in the comments, because that would be possibly easier than changing out everything, especially when maybe, you know, instead of having to solder all the wires and stuff, I could just unsolder this crystal here, stick it in, and then unsolder this one here, because looking at the bottom, I think it's only, how many contacts has it got? 4 contacts. So what I could possibly do, I mean, I won't be doing it on this video, but I could unsolder this and unsolder this, and then it would change the frequency of Yoshi to 49, and then they would all be able to work together. I'm just going to quickly show you them working, and then what I'll do is I'll get my son or daughter in here and we'll have a little quick sort of like mess around in the kitchen with these crashing into each other and stuff. So if we have a look at Mario first of all, let's show you how fast he goes. Now if you have a look, that's backwards. So you can see that when it goes backwards it starts turning. But sometimes it can be quite delayed in when it turns. Yeah, you get the idea. And let's do Yoshi. This one's better at turning. I said that and now it's not turning. Come on. You'll get going in a minute. There we go. It's quite nice the way the exhaust lights up at the back though. Yeah, so you're very limited to what you can do. Now I'm going to have to take the batteries out of this one to show Donkey Kong. Right, I have to turn this one off. You can see they're both working now because they're on the same frequency. Now Donkey Kong is by far the fastest. And you know, the only difference between them was with Donkey Kong there wasn't any grease in the gearbox, so I put a tiny bit of grease in it, but with Yoshi and Mario there was loads of grease in the gearbox, so maybe the grease does actually slow it up a little bit. Right, okay, let's get the camera set up and we'll do a little bit of them both working at the same time. Okay, so we're ready to race. So I'm Mario, my son is Donkey Kong. Let's race around the kitchen a bit. Because of the lack of controls, really, you can't race them apart from in a straight line. In fact, what we could do is, let's do a quick race in a straight line because I think Donkey Kong's much quicker. So if you stay where you are then, you stay there. No, stay there, stay there. Let's go, let me go back a bit. No, it's not going to work, is it? There we go, okay. On your marks, get set, go! You went the wrong way. Right, let's do that again. Thank you. Right, you, where are you going? Down that way? They're not going to stay working for very long, are they? Come on, try to line yourself up next to me. There we go, there. Hold on. Right, there. Go back a bit. I'll go forward. Right. Hold on. Now. On your marks. Get set, go. Well, that's a surprise. I thought Mario would be much slower, but actually, he's not. Donkey Kong just makes more noise. He doesn't really seem to be any quicker. So there you go, that is it for this video. They are lovely models to look at. It's nice the fact that the lights light up at the back there, but really as far as the usability of them is concerned, because you haven't got full control, there really is very little. You're going to get bored of these very quickly, but still nice enough fix, nice and easy to do. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more trying to fix videos. Take care, bye now.